Good morning, dear students. I am Bharti Kathuria Sehgal from the SD Vidya School. Today we are going to start with a new topic, which is blood clotting. Now let's discuss what is blood clotting first of all. You must observe the formation of a clot whenever there is an injury in your skin. So skin, which I told you in the previous videos, forms the first line of defense, which helps in preventing the entry of any kind of germs. So you can imagine if there is any injury in your skin, that would lead to an open invitation to any kind of bacteria or other pathogens which can enter into your body. Now blood clot helps in formation of a plug, which one obviously helps in prevention of the flow of blood out of the body, and second, obviously it prevents the entry of any kind of pathogens into the body. So it is very important topic and we are going to discuss it now. Now, coagulation or clotting of blood is defined as the process in which blood loses its fluid and becomes a jelly-like mass few minutes after it is shed out or collected in a container. Now, the blood cells which are involved in this process are platelets. As we discussed, platelets, these are the specialized cells which help in clotting of the blood. There are other factors called as the clotting factors which help in the process of coagulation of blood or clotting of blood. Now, platelet activation induces the morphological changes. There are large morphological changes which occur, because of which the plug or the formation of clot occurs. So in general, whenever there is an injury to the lining of the blood vessel, it exposes the collagen fibers and the platelets adhere and become sticky. The platelets release certain substances that cause the vessel to contract, and the sticky platelets form a plug and initiate the formation of a fibrin clot. This fibrin clot that you can see here, it seals the wound until the blood vessel heals. Now, there are three basic steps in the process of blood clotting, and these are formation of the prothrombin activator, the conversion of the prothrombin into thrombin, and the conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. There are 13 total factors which have been identified which play a very important role in the blood clotting. Few of them have been marked in the NCERT textbook also. So we'll discuss only about these major factors, which are fibrinogen, prothrombin, thromboplastin, and calcium. So these are the four main factors which have been talked about in your NCERT also. But in total, there are almost 13 factors which are involved in the blood clotting. So a general mechanism of blood clotting can be grouped into these steps, that whenever there is an injury in the blood vessel, the platelets clump at the wound. And a very important thing now, platelets release what we call as a factor thrombokinase. Now this thrombokinase helps in the conversion of the inactivated form called as prothrombin into thrombin. Now this thrombin further helps in the conversion of fibrinogen, which is again an inactive form, and this fibrinogen is further converted into fibrin, which is a protein, and this fibrin, which is present in the form of mesh-like structure, thread-like structures, it forms the clot to prevent the further loss of the blood. Now prothrombin is converted into the thrombin with the help of the prothrombin activator, and thrombin itself sends a positive feedback that yes, thrombin is required. So it also helps in formation of the, again, from prothrombin to thrombin. Now fibrinogen into fibrin is converted by thrombin. So thrombin helps in the conversion of fibrinogen, which helps in the formation of fibrinogen A, the activated form, and then the formation of the loose strands of fibrin, and these fibrin in the presence of the factor 13 and calcium, they help in the formation of the blood clot. So the process is the injury to the lining of the blood vessel exposes the connective tissue and the platelets adhere. The collagen fibers here are present, and the platelets release chemicals that make the nearby platelet cells sticky. The clotting factors come from platelets, also from damaged cells, and the plasma. The ones coming from plasma include calcium as well as vitamin K. Now, After this process of conversion from prothrombin to thrombin and conversion from fibrinogen to fibrin, there is a plug which is formed here. As you can see here, there's a platelet plug and then there's a formation of the fibrin plug. Now it forms the clot and traps the cells. So you can see here the RBCs and the other cells are trapped inside by the formation of this mesh-like structure which we call as the blood clot. Now, why do you think is blood clotting very important? I started the topic with the importance itself, that it is very important to prevent the excessive blood loss and to prevent the entry of microorganisms through wounds as it seals the wound, and it helps in maintaining of the blood pressure, because if there is a loss of lot of blood, then it can reduce the blood pressure to such an extent that it can lead to death. Now, consequences of the impaired blood clotting. So if the blood clotting is not working, mechanism is not working properly, now blood clot, or we call it as thrombus, it blocks the artery, thrombosis as we call. If the thrombus is dislodged and carried in the blood flow, it is called as embolus. Now, embolus trapped in small artery and blocks the blood flow, and the problem is called as embolism. So in general, if there is any kind of thrombosis which occurs, artery को block कर देता है. So आर्टरी को ब्लॉक करने से और वो आगे क्या कर सकता है, इट कैन मूव ऑन, वो मूव ऑन कर सकता है, थ्रोम्बस जो है वो मूव ऑन कर देगा एम्बोलिस की तरह, और वो आगे जाकर अगर किसी ब्लड फ्लो को अगर उसने ब्लॉक कर दिया, अगर ब्लड फ्लो नहीं हो पा रहा है उसकी वजह से, देन द प्रॉब्लम इज कॉल्ड एज एम्बोलिज्म. ये तो बहुत कॉमन है, जो आप लोगों ने अपने बहुत नॉर्मली भी देखा होगा कि जब भी कहीं इंजरी होती है और तो वहां पर नील पड़ जाता है, हम लोग कह रहे हैं. सो दैट इज वहां पर अंदर ही इंटरनल वहां पर लीकेज हो सकती है. So consequences of impaired blood clotting, अगर proper blood clotting नहीं हो रही है, तो there can be problems like coronary artery. If it is partially blocked, it can lead to acute chest pain that we call as angina. Now, if the artery is totally blocked, it can lead to heart attack and death. Now, the blockage of the blood to the brain cells can lead to stroke. That's all for the blood clotting topic. Thank you, students.